Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. My name's Brian, and I know it's been a while since I've uploaded since the summer, but got a little busy, holidays and everything like that. But wanted to kind of get back in the swing of things. But seeing a little bit of transition in the automotive market, prices. If you haven't noticed, they're kind of starting to come down. Interest rates are still up, but and purchasing has slowed down. There's been a little bit of a slowdown. I mean, people are buying cars if they got in a car accident, their vehicle's totaled, and they kind of need to replace a vehicle. But other than that, outside of maybe upcoming with Christmas coming up, I don't know. There may be some people buying them or buying themselves or buying their loved one a vehicle as a Christmas present. But I do see the market is changing and everything. And with the rise of EVs, I know there's a higher entity, should I say, that is making a big push for the EV to be a thing. And, maybe some of y'all out there like the EVs and don't. I personally don't. I think they're going to be more of a money cost to the consumer than what's being told. But I have my reasons for that. But anyway, this video I wanted to focus on back in 2007 and 2008. The government did this big push for cash for clunkers, right? There was a lot of automotive companies that were transitioning and making a big focus on fuel economy as the big seller. Gas prices were high. I think back then they scraped, well, depending on where you live in your region, anywhere from $4 to $7 or $8 per gallon. It started scraping that back in 07 and 08, and the government did this cash for clunkers thing. After the fact, it was seen as some people liked it, some people hated it, but I actually think that the cash for clunkers thing could be a good thing to do again this time around, with the exception of I would recommend they put stricter rules on the program if they bring it back. What I would like to see in a cash for clunkers new movement is I think a vehicle with 200,000 miles or more should be eligible. A vehicle with rebuilt titles, things like that. The reason the cash for clunkers wasn't so good back then was because the criteria for it to be accepted as a trade-in was very vague. I think back then it was like 160,000 miles or something like that, but they didn't specify like any titling stipulations for it to be disqualified. Well, this time around, like I would, if I was making this a legislature or be an advisor, then I would suggest if it's got a clean and clear title and it's never been in an accident, leave it alone. Let it be on the road. Let it stay on the road as long as the owners are willing to buy parts and maintain it and all that thing. But if a vehicle's been wrecked 10 times and put back together 10 times, well, I don't care what you say or how well it looks and drives, the structural integrity of that vehicle is compromised. And the safety of the passengers involved is compromised. So by all means, let's get that vehicle off the road. Or a vehicle that's got 200,000-300,000 miles. It's essentially reached its mechanical limits or exceeds its mechanical limits. And a lot of times they put that on a title. When you go to renew it, it exceeds mechanical limitations. It got a very high mileage. And I know that it's rare, but you have a few of those vehicles that, they hit the 1,000,000 club and things like that. That's great. But those vehicles that hit those 1,000,000 miles they're meticulously maintained. You know, if you take and add up what somebody spent to reach 1,000,000 miles, maintenance wise, they could have probably bought 3 new vehicles. But they love the vehicle and they were willing to do the due diligence and maintenance and keep it going. That stuff is great. Not every vehicle is going to do 1,000,000 miles. I mean, even Toyotas, you know, some of them are only engineered at best to do 200, 300,000 miles. So that being said, you know, I think a cash for clunkers in this day and time, especially with what I'm looking at, like I have clients that's like, hey, help me find a vehicle. Well, I'm looking on certain websites and I'm seeing, you know, collision damage, moderate to severe, things like that. And these dealerships are selling these vehicles not too much off of what you could find another vehicle that has a clean title. You know, you might see one $2,000 less. Well, that $2,000 is it's worth the $2,000 to have that peace of mind to know that, hey, this vehicle's never been in an accident. It's never been band-aided and repaired back together. Things like that. So I would gladly spend the extra $2,000 to have a vehicle that has a clean and clear title, maybe 1 or 2 owners tops, things like that. But I'm gonna make another video focusing on my recommended search filters. And I'm not talking about filters on Instagram or Snapchat or anything like that. It's going to be your search filters, like whatever website you use to find a used car. And then I'll even let you know what my favorite site is for looking for a used car. It's not Marketplace. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me hear your thoughts on the Cash for Clunkers thing. See you next time.